right. Well, good. Thursday evening, South Carolina weather watchers. I am your meteorologist, Tristan Peterson, and we have a lot of weather to go on and talk about currently because there's a lot of stuff that's about to go down, especially for when it does come to this heat, not only for this week, but obviously moving on into next week. I also will say this, my apologies if you hear a storm going on. It is currently storming at my house right now, and so if you do hear thunder, obviously, it's storming. But, it may add to the atmosphere a little bit, so, it may not be that bad. But we're going to go and take a look real quick at the title. And obviously, South Carolina's brutal heat wave rolls on, and that is the main thing that I think that we really need to continue to talk about and bang on because honestly, when you think about heat, not really pushed as much for when it comes to like severe weather or flash flooding, but heat is just as dangerous as severe weather and flash flooding as well. So we're going to take, any risk that we have seriously. And not only that, but what's on tap, not only just talking about the oppressive heat that continues into early next week, isolated strong to severe storms through Friday. There was a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings like 30 minutes ago or so. Coverage increases Saturday with a weak boundary, bringing better chances of showers and storm activity, and a hot pattern. Hot pattern returns early next week. Yes, a cold front's going to be coming in as we move over into this weekend here. So we're going to talk about all of that. Make sure that you are hitting the like button, hit subscribe button, also hit the share button because right now we are at around a good couple of people have tuned in so far and only one like. So if you're part of that group that have not hit the like button yet, please go on and do so. It's free, as always. So what is currently going on? Well, right now we do have some rainfall currently going on from Lancaster over near towards Lawrence. We also do have some rainfall with some flash flooding. We have a flood advisory over here for Columbia, Forest Acres, towards Fort Jackson and Harrow Hill or Horrell Hill. Those areas have a flood advisory that is for 1 to 2 inches of rainfall have already fallen, and another 1 to 2 inches is possible. Now, as we go on and take a look over in the western areas of the state, the CSRA seeing some rainfall, the low country seeing thunderstorm activity. In fact, we even have a flash flood warning down here for Sprucewood, South Carolina, Club Hill Crossroads, and Delmer Crossroad. That's over down near this southern part, in the southern part of Somerville, down into the Midland or the Middleton Plantation area. So that area is under a flash flood warning right now as we speak. And then also, other areas. Folly Beach receiving some storm activity. James Island is as well, going into Hickory Hill, South Carolina. Ravenel receiving some. Even downtown Charleston probably received some storm activity, if not about to receive some storm activity pretty soon. So, we have a lot of activity going on over in these areas. PD's receiving some rainfall as well. Now, what's going on in terms of the entire U.S.? Well, there's a lot, and honestly, it really has to do with rainfall. See, a lot of this rainfall towards the southeast, we're seeing a good amount of rainfall in the Ohio Valley, into the Midwest, and then we have some severe weather in Kansas, Texas, Colorado, even a tornado warning inside of Utah. Tornado warning in Utah. Some more strong storms back to back to back, all heading towards Phoenix area in Arizona, and then we have some more flooding moving on over here inside of Nevada, with even some gusty winds of up to 55 miles per hour moving towards Battle Mountain, Nevada. So there's a lot of things going on here. A lot of things going on here throughout the entire U.S. And honestly, that's not even covering all the rainfall that we have from Montana over into Washington State. Now, what's going on in terms of cloud cover? See a good amount from the upstate to the coastal areas. We're seeing a good amount of cloud cover going on. Rather it's from Rock Hill, Greenville, Anderson, down to Charleston. We're seeing it. Now, it looks like there's not too much cloud cover over there in the eastern parts of the state from like Florence to Myrtle Beach, so not bad, but cloud cover is definitely still present in those areas. Don't get me wrong. And if we move later on into this evening, going into tonight, we see more cloud cover building even as we get into tomorrow, 8, 9, 10. Here's 11 o'clock in the morning, and then here's 12 o'clock p.m. More cloud cover activity from the upstate down towards the low country and the coastal areas towards the Grand Strand. And then we moved around 7 p.m. tomorrow night, getting into around the morning hours on Saturday. Saturday comes in, and the cloud cover is still here and seems to be almost rotating a little bit. Some rotating cloud cover as we move over into Saturday afternoon. Now, what's going on in terms of our current temperatures? We're talking about, honestly, temperatures that I think should definitely be lower. And I'll say why, because of storm coverage. At my house right now, it's 75 degrees. On here it says, in Somerville, it says 85. So I think that just due to the fact that this is not really taking into account the rainfall, that could be, the reason why it's not really going down as much. But also, it says in my forecasted temperature, I think a little bit ago, with all this rainfall, could have went down to 66 degrees today. Now, did it happen? No. But that's what my forecast on my actual weather station told me. It says 66 at 8 p.m. Like I said, it's 8:05 and it's still 75. So I guess it really just determined on what happened with the rainfall. But anyways, 86, Charleston, 83, Orangeburg, as well as 84 in Columbia, 85, Newbury, and 88 in Lawrence, 86, Greenville, 85, Spartanburg, Gaffney, York, and Rock Hill at 86, 85 in Myrtle Beach and Conway. Now, in terms of air quality for tonight, it does look like that a good amount of us is inside of that moderate area. So that's the yellow area from the low country over into the PD areas of Florence down towards Manning. And everybody else looking good. No bad air quality. If you're in the yellow, make sure that you're paying attention for that air quality as we move over into tonight here. Now, what about for our low temperatures for tonight? Talking about 74 in Greenville, 74 Spartanburg, as well as Rock Hill, 77 Columbia and Orangeburg, 76 in Moncks Corner, and 83 in Charleston. Yes, 83 in Charleston, 80 Hilton Head Island, and 77 in Georgetown, 79 Myrtle Beach. High temperatures for tomorrow, we're talking about around a good 97 in Greenville, 95 in Spartanburg, 99 in Columbia, 98 in Aiken, 99 in Orangeburg, and even 96 in Moncks Corner, 94 Charleston, 94 also inside of Georgetown, and even 92 in Myrtle Beach, 94 in Hilton Head Island. Now, you may be looking at this and saying, okay, it's going to be hot tomorrow. It's going to be hot. We're going to be up into them to the high double digits, maybe even some low triple digits. But you still haven't even seen the worst of it. Heat index value is 115 degrees as a heat index value in Charleston, 114 as a heat index value in Hilton Head Island, 110 degrees as a heat index value in Moncks Corner, 108 in Myrtle Beach, 109 in Columbia, 104 in Greenville, Spartanburg, 103 in Lawrence. So, does not matter where you will be at tomorrow in the state of South Carolina, really throughout almost the entire Southeast, but in the state of South Carolina, it will be hot. It will be hot. And so that's why I always say, make sure that you're checking on neighbors. Make sure that you are checking on pets, plants as well. And making sure that you're checking on yourself. Because, obviously we don't want anybody outside working and it's 115. About, some areas may get up to an isolated 120 degrees tomorrow. So please make sure that you are paying attention for that heat as you move over into tomorrow. Now, could the crazy score reach catastrophic status? I don't know if it necessarily will or not. I don't think that it will. I have to check that, but obviously, if we get heat index values up to 120 in some areas, I think that's gonna really push the score up there. We'll see what happens tomorrow. And, obviously that website is still like a month old, so it's not that new. Not that old, excuse me. So, may still have to do some adjusting here and there. But for the most part, it looks like that we are going to be, some areas could reach 120 tomorrow. There's already been some people that have been forecasting for it. So, hot day tomorrow. Please make sure that you are paying attention and staying inside as much as you possibly can. If you need to get anything done work-related, I get up early. Don't wait until around even like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. I think that that's probably getting too late already because there are already going to be some areas that are going to be feeling like 100 degrees at that time, if not more. Now, in terms of rainfall for the next 24 hours, obviously, this does not include thunderstorms and flash flooding. But just in terms of regular rainfall, areas could see 1/100 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch in areas like the PD, the Low Country, the Midland areas, and then even inside of the upstate as well could see maybe 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, and even inside the Grand Strand over in Georgetown County, a couple of areas may see a 1/10 of an inch, maybe even up to 1/2 an inch or so. Now, as we go in and take a look at the SPC outlook, thunderstorms, at least severe thunderstorms, were not expected for today, but as I say all the time, it's summertime. It is summertime. And so when it's summertime, it gets, hot quick. And, there's always going to be some juice in the atmosphere, at least a little bit of juice for some severe storms to get going almost daily. And so this is what we're kind of seeing here as we had, like 30 minutes to an hour ago, 2 severe thunderstorm warnings, one near Columbia and one down here just to the north and west, if not just to the west of North Charleston. So, there was a good amount of rainfall activity and a good amount of thunderstorm activity, severe thunderstorm activity that was going on that was not forecasted. And so another thing that, you may want to also go in and look at is excessive rainfall. We have a flash flood warning in southern Dorchester County right now. And we have a flood advisory over in Columbia. Look at the risk of flash flooding as we go over into tonight. Nowhere in the Midlands, nowhere in the Low Country. Look up here inside of the upstate. Isolated flash flooding risk over here from Salem to the Sumter National Forest. And then also over here towards the Rocky Bottom area. That's the area that was under the gun for isolated flash flooding for today. But guess what? No flash flooding up there. In fact, it's dry. It's nice and dry as a bone up there. All of that flash flooding activity is going on in the more southeastern areas. So that's why I always say, summertime, doesn't matter where you are. You have a risk of flash flooding and almost severe weather almost daily. You have a risk of a thunderstorm. You have a risk of severe weather potentially, and maybe even some flash flooding. That's just how summer goes. That's just how it is. Now, as we move back over into Friday for tomorrow, thunderstorm activity again expected. And if you do get a shower tomorrow, you could definitely turn into a thunderstorm real quick. And then Saturday, isolated severe weather of up to probably damaging winds, probably being the main threat here. But, we'll get all that information tomorrow evening. But for right now, marginal risk of severe weather for Saturday. Isolated severe storms is possible for Saturday, so make sure that you are paying attention for that. And then in terms of excessive rainfall, again, looking at tonight, this is what we're looking at. Tomorrow doesn't really grow too much. Isolated flash flooding continues to stay up here for the upstate. And guess what? Not for the Midlands, not for the Low Country, not for the Grand Strand or the PD areas. But then Saturday comes in, and then it starts to grow. The entire state has a risk of isolated flash flooding for Saturday. We go over into Sunday, and then Monday comes in. So Sunday and Monday looks good. Saturday seems to be the more active day in terms of flash flooding throughout the state. Crazy score, we're at a 69 right now. Still have extreme heat warnings that are in effect, and heat advisories that are still in effect right now, because some of them just are not going to expire, because you sit and you're like, okay, well, the heat advisory usually ends at around 8 o'clock p.m. Usually around 9 o'clock p.m. the heat advisories are done for the day. Well, because the heat's going to be so relentless, especially overnight, to where we could see some of that heat overnight still be in the 80s or so, that's not really any relief there. That's not. And that's the reason why they're keeping it as we move over into tonight, going over into tomorrow, because you're just not going to see a whole lot of relief for the overnight hours. And so that's why when I was talking about the low temperatures earlier, make sure that even during the nighttime hours that you are watching for the heat, because 83 degrees down there in Charleston, 80 degrees in Hilton Head Island as a low temperature tonight, not as a high temperature, not as a morning temperature, not as like a mid-morning temperature, a low temperature. That's the lowest it's going to get as you move into tonight, is going to be around 83. And some areas could be even higher, because Charleston's not even directly on the coast like that. So it really could get even higher to some of those other coastal areas. So make sure that you keep that in mind. Make sure that you do keep that in mind. So now that's pretty much all that I wanted to kind of clear up there for when it comes to the crazy score. Let's go on now and take a look at the models. Time is at the bottom part of your screen. Please make sure that you pay attention to that, as that is very, 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 very important to do so. We're going to start off here at the 8 o'clock p.m. time frame here. And as you can see, there's a lot of things going on and pretty relevant. This was updated at around 7 o'clock p.m. for when this last model run was. And so as we go on and push this forward, you can see as we move to around 11 p.m. to 12 o'clock in the morning, things calm down. We're looking at nicer, drier conditions moving into around 3, 4, 5, even around 6 o'clock in the morning. We're seeing a lot of that rainfall activity move and go away somewhere. Now, as you move over to around 12 o'clock p.m. on Friday, you start to see some more shower activities starting to get going in the upstate, but not a lot. Not a lot. And it's still looking mostly dry as we move into the noon hours. Now, watch as we go to the 18Z real quick. 18Z doesn't have rainfall popping up to around 1 to 2 p.m. And you might be asking, what in the world is the 18Z? Z is just a time, just like a measurement of time there. The 18Z was updated at 3 o'clock p.m. and the 22Z was updated at 7. So because the 22Z does not go all the way out to 48 hours and the 18Z does, that's just the closest increment we have, and we're just going to have to deal with it. But for right now, this is what we're looking at here. This was updated at 3 p.m. The one that was updated at 3 p.m. doesn't have showers and storms forming until maybe around 1 to 2 p.m. So a bit later. And then as you go over to around 3, 4 p.m., more shower, more storm activity inside of the upstate and inside of the low country areas. And it spreads pretty wildly throughout that low country area. And even into the upstate. Upstate starts getting in on some, but it's not completely widespread. And I will say that it's not completely widespread. It's more of just looking like widely scattered, if not scattered more than anything. And then the PD may get in on some shower activity, may get in on some storm activity around 8 o'clock p.m., moving into tomorrow evening. We move over past midnight tomorrow night, moving into Saturday morning. And Saturday starts off kind of the same way, nice and dry during the early morning hours. But as you get into the afternoon, things start to get a little bit more active. So this is kind of just what we're looking at. This is the pattern that we're looking at over the next 48 hours. Summertime patterns to where we are seeing not a lot of rainfall during the morning time, but as we get into the afternoon, the nighttime hours, things start to increase there. And then as we, went through in terms of just thunderstorm activity, obviously you can't tell thunderstorm activity just from rainfall. You would have to go in and look at the lightning flash density, and you can see a lot of rainfall activity, a lot of thunderstorm activity is definitely possible as we move over into tomorrow and moving into Saturday as well, most likely, to where we have a risk of severe weather on that Saturday. But how much rainfall could we potentially receive over the next 40 hours or so, from around 3 p.m. to 2 p.m. or so on Saturday? Well, with flash flooding included, I mean, honestly, ARRR doesn't show much. It doesn't show much at all, even as we go into around Saturday afternoon. So really just, it's probably not going to be a lot of areas that receive any rainfall at all. That's a good possibility, and that's one thing you got to keep in mind. Not every area is going to receive rainfall. In fact, most people may not receive rainfall. That's just how it's going to work. That's how the summer storms work. A lot of people may not see any rainfall at all. There will be a couple of spots, though, that could receive 1 to 2, if not 3 inches of rainfall, though, that will kind of fall in those pockets. And so that's where we kind of start to get the drought prediction, kind of into the equation here, because obviously if you have areas that an isolated pocket that's getting an inch, and then an isolated pocket that's getting 3 inches, and then you have another pocket that did not receive any rainfall at all, that's going to mix up the drought monitor there, just because it's going to, kind of be just in splotches of where that drought could potentially be at, not completely knocking it out. So that's why when I say we get a big storm system with widespread rainfall, those are the drought busters right there. And so speaking of the drought, by the way, the prediction is inside of the chat. Please go on and vote. We have more people in here right now and still only a little amount of votes. So go on and vote inside of the drought predictions. The answer will be revealed in probably around 5 to 10 minutes or so. So please go in and vote in that. Now, what about for the long-term future? So past the next 48 hours or so, what are we looking at? Well, as we move over into Saturday evening, going over into Sunday, look how much rainfall we're seeing here. From the upstate to the low country to the Grand Strand, doesn't matter. Rainfall seems to be a pretty big playmaker as we move over into Saturday, even going into Saturday night. Now, this is the day that we could potentially see some relief as well. Boundary coming in with a cold front could come in and try and knock down those temperatures a little bit as we get over into Saturday night, going into Sunday though. But just because it's a cool down doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be cool. Keep that in mind. Just because it's a cool down does not mean that it's going to necessarily be cool completely to where we're down like the 60s or the 70s for high temperatures or anything like that. That's not, it's not going to happen like that. But as we move over into next week, Monday, things look dry. Keep that in mind. Monday looks a bit dry. And Tuesday also looks a bit dry as well until we get later on to the evening. Keep that in mind because when we get into the temperatures, that's gonna play a huge role there. That's gonna play a huge role, and I'll explain why in just a moment. But we move through into Wednesday of next week, going over into Thursday, and you're still not seeing anything too big. Maybe another storm system could try to move in later on next week, but again, I'm not seeing anything that's too concerning to me. I'm really not. Even as we move later on into like the late parts of August, it's too far out really to call anything specific, but I'm not really concerned for anything and for any sort of major amounts of rainfall. Now, how much rainfall could we potentially receive over the next 400 hours? Well, according to the GEFS, some areas may see of up to 2 inches to maybe even close to 3 inches. So around 2 to 3 inches of rainfall statewide as we move throughout the next 384 hours on an ensemble-based model here. So this is an average. Okay, will this happen? Probably not exactly. In fact, some areas will see more, some areas will see less. The only thing really here that we have to kind of just base and gauge it on is, are we going to be kind of active or are we going to be kind of not so active? And I'd say around 2 inches, that's pretty active there. Some areas probably had just received 2 inches of rainfall tonight. So, like I said, you're going to either see more or you're going to see less. Very rare that you would usually see the same amount. It's very rare that you'd see the same amount here. But this is just the GEFS. The European is still on its train of being the lower end of the stick. And so we've been talking about the European for being not so high and not so confident for when it comes to rainfall than the GEFS is. The European kind of has us around, maybe around 0.9 inches of rainfall for as the lowest, and then some areas around 2 inches of rainfall as the highest. So kind of has that same ceiling as the GEFS's low floor, but its floor is very low. The European's floor is very low, and it has, as an average, around an inch, if not less, up there in the upstate. So there is a lot to kind of go on and break down there as we move into the future. The European doesn't really show too much for us for the future. It just doesn't. Just really does not at all. And, even less out there in the West. But now with that out of the way, it's time for the main part of the forecast for tonight. The main segment that everybody's talking about. At least that's what everybody's been asking me. Everybody's been asking me, oh, you see, it's supposed to be like 100 degrees or so moving into the next couple of days. And I'd be like, yes, I have seen it because I've been talking with y'all about it for the past, week or so. So, yes, I knew that all of this was going to happen. And it will continue to roll on as we move over into next week. And so we're going to start off by looking at the anomalies first real quick. And just starting off here, you can see the time at the bottom part of your screen. We move this over into Friday morning, go into Friday afternoon, Friday evening and nighttime as well. And overall, those temperatures look to be around 15 to 20 degrees above average as we move over into Friday. Makes sense, expecting that. But watch as you move over into Saturday. Okay, 10 to 15 degrees above average or so. Okay, we were kind of noticing that a little bit. And, still not the hottest, but it's still hot regardless. Sunday comes in, still hot. 10 to 15 degrees above average, some areas close to 20 degrees above average. But then Monday comes in, And Monday, we're seeing a lot of areas that are very, 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 very close to 20 degrees above average. Now, I will say this, and that is when I was checking my forecast earlier for my town, and I put it up in the search engine bar, and I just wanted to see what it said, what it potentially going to be for our area, and so this was a couple of days ago, and I was looking at it for Friday for tomorrow, and Friday came in, the next update came in, and it added a 20% chance of rainfall for us. And I was like, okay, let me look at these temperatures. It dropped the high temperature by 3 degrees. Now, is that all necessarily, based off of the storm activity? No. I mean, there could have been other factors as well, but just a teachable moment here is that storm activity can really go on and hinder those temperatures from getting up as high as it may seem. And so that's why when I said make sure you pay attention to Monday and Tuesday, because look at how dry it is. This is why. Monday, the driest day, is on average the hottest day so far, and Tuesday as well could also be in the same boat. You move over into Tuesday as well. Oh, you're kind of seeing the same thing, up to 18, close to 20 degrees above average. I see 21, 22 degrees above average in areas of the low country as you move over into next week Tuesday. And so the drier days are usually getting the warmer temperatures. And so that's just a teachable moment there. I just wanted to, let you know what I saw there. But this is what we're kind of looking at here. And so as we go on and push this forward over even into Wednesday, going over into Thursday, still hot. And in fact, I mean, very hot. Look at areas of the upstate getting close to 20 to 25 degrees above average moving into next week Thursday in the upstate. Friday comes in and things cool down a lot. I think a cold front maybe trying to come in late week, and it really does cool things down. Watch as we get into the week after next week. Some cooler air tries. I mean, it really tries to move its way in, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. I really do not know if it's going to be enough to really go on and move all of that stuff out. So, we're going to see what happens as we move throughout the next 300 plus hours or so. But temperatures overall can really be hindered by those storms. And if you don't see those storms and it stays dry for you, and especially if the sun's out as well, it's going to be hot in general, though. I mean, regardless of storms or not, it's going to be hot. Now, what will those actual temperatures look like? We move over into Friday, we move over into Saturday. We know what those days look like. Getting up into the hundreds in some spots. We get over into Sunday, still getting up into the hundreds, even though, we could see some cooler air try to move its way in. It's not really going to, impact us by much. It's really just a weak front more than anything. That's kind of just there. Monday comes in, we could see some actual temperatures near 105 degrees moving into Monday. Tuesday comes in, same thing. Some areas could get up to around 103, 104, 105. I see 106. Again, this is not heat index values. This is actual temperatures that we are actually seeing as we move over into Tuesday. We go over into Wednesday and then Thursday of next week, and it just stays hot over and over and over. But then as we move over into next weekend, so not this weekend, but next weekend, a bit of a cool down comes in to where even by 2 p.m., some areas may still be in the 80s. Now, that's a long ways away, so, we're not really going to go any further than that, but a cool down definitely could be over the horizon as we move over into next weekend. And then as we go in and take a look at those actual heat index values as well, moving over into Friday, going over into Saturday as well, look at these heat index values up to around 111 to 115 degrees moving into Saturday. Sunday comes in, still around 110 or so. Monday comes in, and we're really getting hot now. Tuesday comes in, we're still getting very hot. And then we move over into Wednesday and Thursday, and we still are staying hot through Friday. But then Saturday comes in, and, even those heat index values, even though, some cooler air may be trying to come in, it still could feel pretty hot. It still could feel pretty hot. Now, what's going on in terms of the future, in terms of our temperatures, past around 200 hours or so? Just looking at an average here, and just as we move towards the end parts of August, as we move towards the end portion of August, things do kind of tend to go down a little bit. So even the ensembles are kind of noticing a bit of a cool down for when it does come to these temperatures here throughout August. So, we're also going to go on and pay attention to that, kind of see what happens there. But for the most part, and the main thing here that I just really want to just drill into everyone's mind is that South Carolina's brutal heat wave rolls on, and it's not going to stop anytime soon for now. Not going to stop anytime soon for now. So make sure that you are checking on neighbors, make sure that you're checking on pets, make sure that you're checking on plants, and also make sure that you are checking on yourself, family, friends, acquaintances, even the person you don't even like. It just anybody. Check up on them, especially if they have to do stuff outside. Especially if they have to do stuff outside. Drink plenty of water, and just try to be outside during the morning time. Please do not try to be outside when it's 115 to 120 degrees outside. We don't want to see that. Now, you have to do what you have to do. And if you have to be outside during the hottest portion of the day, just make sure that you're drinking plenty of water and that you are taking plenty of breaks as well. But that's pretty much all that I had to say there in terms of the main portion here for when it does come to the heat. What about the tropics? Well, we still have two areas. Cristobal, the tropical storm that we had earlier, is now gone out of our hair. It was expected to go away by, actually, I believe this update, by the 8 o'clock p.m. update. And as you can see, it's now gone. And now we still have these two areas down here that we're watching for. And so, as you go on and take a look at these two disturbances that we have, Disturbance 1, this is Invest 92. We've been taking a look at this shower and thunderstorm activity associated with the tropical wave located about 800 miles east of the Lesser Antilles have continued to become less organized. The system is moving into a region of increasing upper level winds and dry air, and the possibility of development appears to be decreasing. Regardless of development, interest in the Lesser Antilles should continue to monitor the progress of this system, since gusty winds and heavy rain are possible Friday night and Saturday. So this has a 40% chance of forming overall, and I will say, like the discussion said, dry air and wind shear could very much tear this thing apart pretty quickly. And if it does not get going now, it's not really going to do too much. And so I'm not too concerned about this. I'm really not too concerned about this area of disturbance right here. Disturbance 2, I think I'm more looking at this one more than anything. But to be honest, this one, not really too concerned about either. And I'll show you why in just a moment. A tropical wave located several hundred miles west or southwest of the Cabo Verde Islands is producing disorganized shower and storm activity. Environmental conditions are forecast to become generally conducive for development, and a tropical depression could form late this week or this weekend. So we could see a tropical depression or maybe even a storm with this disturbance over here, Disturbance 2. This has a 30% chance of forming over the next 48 hours and a 50% chance over the next 7 days. And this will continue to move its way west over the eastern and the central tropical Atlantic. So both of these systems here are kind of just doing their own thing now at this point. And, we're not really, I can go on and pull up the ensembles for you, but the ensembles didn't really change too much. Did not really change too much from this morning or from yesterday. In fact, they're kind of just continuing to move their way down towards the south. Like I said, 94L, or the one in the back, disturbance number 2, I think that one has a higher shot of potentially doing something, but I'm not really too high on that one either. But again, anything can happen, and we'll see, as we move over. Now, this is the hurricane models for 94, the one in the back. And as you can see here, a couple of the hurricane models kind of continuing its way up towards the north, maybe trying to move its way up towards the islands and towards Puerto Rico. And, towards that area. That could be something that they would definitely have to watch for, and I would be watching if I was them. But even if you look at the GEFS, GEFS, for example, has that track kind of going towards those islands right there. And, a couple of them that may try to move their way closer to the U.S. in a sense. Now, even the European models as well kind of has this thing dying out pretty quickly. And then the intensity guidance, well, the intensity guidance says tropical storm Some even say hurricane. I mean, I believe Dolly is the next name. So if Dolly was to form, and this, could definitely be tropical storm or Hurricane Dolly if it does get to hurricane strength, um, that's just, we could potentially see it try to do something. But the only reason why I'm concerned is for when we were talking about disturbance number one was just because of that dry air and for when it has to do with that wind shear as well. And I'm going to try and hurry this up because I know I'm explaining and teaching a lot, but honestly, I'm just very passionate about it. But over here, inside of the south, you see these two areas over here. There's low pressure number one over here on the left, and then low pressure number two over here on the right. You push that forward even more, and as disturbance one goes out, it goes out into oblivion. It just moves away. It's gone. It's not causing really any more trouble except for maybe just some heavy rainfall, gusty winds. And then there's disturbance number two over here. It pushes its way up towards the north. It dies out pretty quickly, and it brings in a good amount of rainfall. But then look behind it. Another low pressure system comes in, but it just dies off. And it's just due to all of the shear that we have inside of the environment that's not really getting it any chance or giving it a chance to get going. Look at all this shear that we have. There goes the low pressure system or the tropical storm, hurricane, whatever it may be at that time. And we have all this shear inside of the environment that's just going to break it apart. It's just going to break it apart, storm after storm after storm. And look at the jet stream also over us, over inside of the U.S. as well. So that's really the main reason why these storms aren't doing too much. It's just because they're being broken apart as soon as they make it, anywhere near us. And so that's why I'm just not really too that concerned about it. I'm just not. And until we see an opening really open up, storms are going to keep popping up. You're going to keep on seeing disturbances, but it's not going to do much at all. But I'm done there. Let's go on and talk about the drought monitor now. We have 4 options, as we know. We know that there's a drought currently going on. And right now, 20% thinks that the drought has expanded, 40% thinks that the drought has shrunk or stayed the same, and 40% thinks that the drought and the abnormally dry is gone. Well, right now, if we go in and take a look over at the actual observances real quick, observations, we're going to move down towards the southeast. And as we go in and take a look over and see how much rainfall we've seen over the past 7 days, you can see that there's been a good amount. And so I don't really think that the drought has expanded. I know that there's a good amount of a drought over there in the eastern parts, especially over there near North Myrtle Beach. But look how much rainfall we've received over the past, past 7 days, past week or so. Yeah, a couple of areas didn't see too much in terms of rainfall, but some areas have seen of up to 2, if not 4 inches of rainfall. So I really do believe that the drought has shrunk or stayed the same. And 40%, very optimistic, thinks that the drought and the abnormally dry is gone. I don't think that that's the correct answer. I'm just going to be, brutally honest. But I'm going to go in and end the poll. I mean, everybody's had their chance to hopefully go in and vote. If not, you have next week. We're not going to be done just this week. Next week, Thursday, we will be back. Let's go and get a drum roll. And right now, it seems like that, at least for what, I don't see an expansion. I don't really see an expansion right now. And the main reason why I say that is just because I'm seeing a lot more yellow. There's a lot more yellow. It seems like that drought inside of the upstate is really backing off, and in the Midlands as well. The low country and the Grand Strand, though, continues to kind of just stay in that area of red, and even dark red over there near North Myrtle Beach. Now, I will say this, it does look like that there is a bit of a bit more of like a decretion for the drought over there on the low country and inside of the Grand Strand area. So hopefully that is the case. I'm pulling up the main one right now from last week. And so this was last week's right here. Turn that off. There we go. This was last week's. You can see definitely more yellow. I can definitely see more yellow up there inside of the upstate for when it comes to this week's compared to last week's. And the drought inside of the low country did go down a little bit as well. And also over there in Charleston County, I just noticed that downtown Charleston was in the D2. Now I believe that area is now in the D1 now. So that's, good stuff all around. Good stuff all around. So again, congratulations to me and the 40% of people that got it correct for tonight that said that the drought and the abnormally dry shrunk and stayed the same. And I think that's about all that I have to say here for that part too. So let's go in and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, being a subscriber, because if you are not a subscriber, you can't type. So please go on and hit that subscribe button so you can go on and type. We're going to start off here with my Aunt Lula, who was here first, says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. Today's high in Georgetown was 96. Currently, it's 82. Today was a muggy hot day here in Georgetown. My Nana says hello, Jay, and all hello to you. And thank you so much for that weather report for where you are over there in Georgetown. At my house today, it was around it is 75 right now, degrees, and the high temperature for today was 98 degrees. And we got around 0.71 inches of rainfall for today. Most of it came from around the past hour or so. Milo says, I didn't spend any time outside at all. I enjoyed myself indoors. Well, I was mainly indoors as well. I was actually outside, earlier in the morning. And then also during the 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock time frame. And then obviously going home around 4 p.m. And to be honest, it was hot. It was very hot, especially once I got to around 1 p.m. As soon as I stepped outside, it was instant sweat. That was it. My Nana says, I didn't get a chance to work in the yard today, also, although much is needed to be done. And then really glad to see the rain today. My grass is supposed to be cut tomorrow. It's still storming over here. Well, thank you so much for the weather report, and hopefully it is dry enough and that y'all are staying safe, staying hydrated if you guys are cutting the grass tomorrow, because, I know a lot of areas who have canceled activity just because of the heat tomorrow. So make sure that y'all are staying careful there. Milo says, please, everyone, drink plenty of water and check on the elderly. Absolutely. Mr. Anthony says, good evening, everyone. Good evening to you. And then Thad says, good evening, gentlemen, the 360 weather family. I trust all as well. It was another hot, dry day here in San Antonio. My grass looks a lot better after last night with the assistance of my sprinklers. We had a high of 102. Felt like 111. Well, I will say this. It seems like that, a couple of areas in South Carolina are beating your temperatures there. High of 102. Now, I don't know if the high is up to 102, but the feel-like temperatures for sure, I think, are definitely higher. So maybe not the actual temperatures themselves, but I wouldn't be shocked if somebody in South Carolina got a high temperature of 100 degrees for today. But that's pretty much all I have to say here in terms of the chat. So let's go on real quick and do the top fan question of the night for tonight. You might be asking, what's that? Well, it's a question that I asked to see who was paying attention for tonight, and whoever gets the question correct first will win. And I kind of want to do it with something that, again, wasn't really talked about much. So I don't want to really do it with the heat. I kind of want to do it with some rainfall. With some rainfall. There was a county that I called out. That said could potentially receive maybe 1/10 of an inch of rainfall to maybe even 1/2 inch of rainfall when we were talking about the precipitation totals over the next 24 hours. What was that county? Whoever gets that county correct, you will win top fan of the night for tonight. Again, the question is, I was talking about a specific county in the state of South Carolina that had the opportunity to potentially receive 1/10 of an inch to maybe even 1/2 an inch of rainfall over the next 24 hours. What was that specific county that I called out? Again, whoever gets it correct first, you will win. And again, even if you don't know, if you live here, counties here in this area. Just say the county the county that is, any county. It doesn't matter. So just go on and put anything that you want, as it's a free-for-all. Anybody can type that to subscriber. Now, let's go on real quick and talk about the 4 areas outside of South Carolina. And if you are departing and you are here, for South Carolina and you leave at this time frame, hopefully you have a great night. And then also, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe button, and the share button before you leave, if you are leaving at this time. But we have 4 areas to talk about outside of South Carolina, that being San Antonio, Texas, Raleigh, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as well as Duncan, Oklahoma. The reason why we talk about these 4 areas, because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly, and because they tune in almost nightly, we're going to go on and talk about their areas for them. So we're going to start off with San Antonio first. You have low temperatures tonight at 78, high temperatures for tomorrow at 98, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 79. No precipitation is expected for tonight, and then tomorrow, no precipitation there either. Now for your future, it's just continuing to look grim. I'm just going to be honest with you. It's still going to be dry, still going to be hot, and in terms of your chance of rainfall, it just continues to look depressing. No rainfall for the next 7 days, and you will continue to stay into the hundreds all the way through into Thursday of next week. So, gonna continue to have fun there. I can tell. I mean, at least it's a nice day. At least nice and hot. You know, no rainfall there, but yeah, I know y'all definitely do need the rainfall. And actually, while I'm talking about Raleigh real quick, because that is the next area, I want to look at your drought because obviously y'all have not seen a good amount in terms of the drought. And I do want to check it out because right now you are technically still in the D0, so you're not inside of a drought currently, but you want to see that rainfall. I'm telling you, because if you start to, if you really start to go on and you don't see a lot of rainfall over the next, 7 days, to 14 days, a drought could start. And with how hot it is as well, doesn't make things better. Let's see. I have a couple of answers. Berkeley County, Rock Bottom area. I don't know what county that is in. The Rock Bottom area. I don't know what county that's in. And then Charleston. So no, Berkeley and Charleston County, not the correct answer. Not the correct answer for tonight. Keep on guessing though. Yeah, no, I mean, it's still anybody's game at this point. For Raleigh, North Carolina, though, you have low temperatures tonight at 76, high temperatures for tomorrow at 95, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 76. No precipitation tonight, but tomorrow, chance of thunderstorms tomorrow during the day. And then tomorrow night, no precipitation is expected, but Saturday, and then even going into next week, Monday and onward, could be pretty active for you in terms of thunderstorm activity. Now, in terms of your temperatures as well, continuing to stay into the 90s. In fact, you may even reach 100 degrees going into Monday of next week, as it just seems like Monday is going to be a pretty hot day for a lot of us in the east. Now, in terms of severe weather, you do have a risk of severe weather for tomorrow. Tomorrow, isolated damaging winds of up to 60 miles per hour is possible. Horry County is not correct, and Lexington County is not correct. Now, as we go on and look at your excessive rainfall risk, you do have a risk of excessive rainfall for tomorrow, and then moving on also inside of Saturday and even on Monday. So there is a good amount of excessive rainfall that is possible for you, again, Friday, Saturday, and Monday. Let's see, I see Somerton. No, that's not correct. Not correct. For Philadelphia, being the next area, you have low temperatures tonight at 72, high temperatures for tomorrow at 89, low temperatures tomorrow night at 70. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow. And then in terms of severe weather and excessive rainfall, looks like that you're in the clear. For severe weather, excessive rainfall wise, you are not in the clear. Sunday, scattered flash flooding of up to, well, honestly, really just depends on what happens on the day. But for right now, Sunday, slight risk of flash flooding, 15% risk of flooding on Sunday. Make sure that you're paying attention and make sure that you have all your flash flood plans in place. Let's see, Marion County and Florence County, we're getting closer. Marion and Florence County, we're getting closer. We are getting closer. That's all I'm going to say, though. That's all I'm going to say, but we are getting closer. In terms of your future, it does look like that you will continue to stay into the 80s as you move all the way to next week, and then you're going to stay dry from Friday going into Saturday. But then Sunday going on into the future, does look like it could be active, but Tuesday, Wednesday could take a little bit of a break there. And then finally, Duncan, Oklahoma, you have low temperatures tonight at 78, high temperatures for tomorrow at 104, low temperatures tomorrow night at 76, and it's going to continue to stay hot. Thursday, you have your high temperature next week of 103, and honestly, it's not going to stop being in the hundreds anytime soon. Anytime soon. And so, right now, no severe weather, no excessive rainfall, and then you do have a risk of fire weather for tomorrow as well, so don't burn anything tomorrow, please, if you don't have to. And then overall, that's about it. Still don't see any correct answers. Still do not see any correct answers. It is inside of, again, inside of that PD Grand Strand areas. Still inside of that PD and that Grand Strand area. They're not in the low country. not in the Midlands, not inside the upstate, at all. Lancaster, not correct either. Actually kind of shocked. I'm actually kind of shocked. I thought that this area definitely would have been guessed by now, because we talked about it a good little bit. Let's go in though and kind of wrap up, see what's going on in terms of the entire U.S. Well, it seems like right now an active pattern will continue to bring heavy to excessive rainfall and flash flooding threats to the Midwest and the Ohio Valley over the next couple of days. Dangerous heat continues across the central and the southern plains and the southeast into next week. There is a potential for record-tying or maybe even breaking temperatures, with many areas forecasted to see their hottest temperatures so far this year over there in the east and inside of the central U.S. So have that to look forward to. Some fire weather concerns up there in the northwest, some flooding concerns over there inside of the Midwest, going over into the Ohio Valley and the West, in like Nevada and Utah, Arizona, those types of areas. And that's all that I can see here. Let me see, any more answers? No, I don't see any more answers, so I'm assuming that we all yield for tonight. And honestly, once I reveal the answer, it's going to be, I mean, everybody I think is going to be not shocked at all. But I'm kind of shocked that nobody guessed it though. Let me check my email real quick, give you about like another 30 seconds or so. No, I don't see anything else said in my email. So again, remember, if you've not hit the like button yet or the subscribe button yet, please go in and do so. Also hit the share button. Right now we have around a good, right now the thing that I use for my live subscriber count is not working. So we're at 823. We are 2 away from that quarter of the way goal. From around 823, we're trying to get to around 825. And then we're getting around 900. 900, that's the main goal as we move over into, hopefully, by the end of the year, we can hopefully reach to 1,000 or so, but trying to get to 900, hopefully by the end of next month. So we'll see what happens there as we move over. And then overall, I do see the correct answer. I do see the correct answer. I'm going to get a drum roll real quick. It was Georgetown County. So, homegrown Georgetown County was the correct answer for tonight, and my mom got it. So, congratulations to you. And my Aunt Lou says, I hope it isn't Georgetown. Well, I am so sorry, but it is Georgetown, and my mom got it correct. So, congratulations to you for winning the top fan of the night for tonight. And that is about all that I have to say here for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow morning with your Friday morning forecast update. Make sure that you're there for that. And then also Friday evening, make sure that you are there for your 8 o'clock p.m. forecast update there. We will be there, not only done with the week, but also continuing to talk about this major heat wave that's going on. But that's about all. Again, congratulations. Also, honorable mention for tonight was my Nana, my Aunt Lou, and then Thad as well. So congratulations to the 3 of y'all for being honorable mentions for tonight as well. Make sure that you go in and do those. Hit those 2 buttons before you leave if you're new.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off of my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. How, 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 how. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down off of your feet. How, how, how.
Hey.
this. The beat that is around this. Now let's hit the top. Let's do it.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk, and I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk, and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off of my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. How, 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 how. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. I love the way you walk. I love the way you talk. When you walk that walk and you talk that talk. You knocks me out off my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang.
Boom, 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 boom. Gonna shoot you right down off of your feet. How, how, how.